second. All right, we're on YouTube there and TikTok here. Destination Decluttered. All righty, Miss Soul Inspired. I appreciate you too. All right. I'll see you guys. Hey, have a great weekend. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye. And I mean that seriously. All right, bye. All right, everybody. Oh, goofiness. Always gives me this weird, stupid. Oh, so annoying. TikTok, I'll use it because you're free, but in here, let me just do one thing here. Okay. Okay, yay. Let me make sure nobody died. Oh. I'm okay. As people are tuning in here, I'm just shifting gears here. I can't read a damn thing. I feel like I'm at the eye doctor like I was last week. There we go. Now I can see your things. Lord, give me Voorhees. Na 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 na. Right? Right? See, here's a great way to declutter. Notice clutter behind me. Just don't show people. Hide the clutter outside of the frame. I am totally getting to that stuff too. I love it. Jumping, hopping. Yay, friends. Thank you for keeping me company over here. Okay, because we're going to be here for another hour. Then the cool thing is, you guys, oh my God, you know, the continuing story of a cat who's gone to the dogs. I don't know. Was that Pigs in Space? I'm totally Muppet. The Muppet Show just came into my head. You guys have heard since like March, April, May, the continuing saga of our basement. That's why those boxes are still there. The basement guy is coming at 11. Please, universe, let him finish today. Let me pay him today and that he never has to come back here again. Thank you. All right. So, but here we are. And the cool thing is I can talk as loud as I want because he's not down the basement. Okay. Hey, everybody. Good friends. Look we got good people here. We got good people. Say hi to each other. Get to know people. Is everybody here? I hope everybody who is signing in here is part of the Pen Pal Club. If they want to be part of the Pen Pal Club. Okay. And what does that mean? It means you're kind of getting to know people slightly more on a personal level than just in the comments, that you can connect with each other because you have the email address of the other person because they've agreed to be on a list of emails and you've agreed to be on a list of emails, and only the people who are on the list get the list. So if you enjoy chatting with people here, okay, so Jen says I'm kind of new. All right, Jen. Well, hi, welcome. This is my platform. Okay, this is my place. My name is Beth. I am called I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. You'll notice because you're on YouTube, and I'm just trying to adjust what things look like for me here. Yes, we are a duck pond. Yeah, we get a bunch of ducker quack, quack, quack. And I tend to be the mama duck, but I never wanted to be a mama. This is why I encourage you guys to grow up and be your own awesome duckies, because I'll be one temporarily, but not long term. I'm like an auntie duck. I'm your auntie duck. I love it. So Jen, I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I have a number of people who are decluttering along with me, learning how to declutter their homes, their heads, their hearts, the world. But we enjoy hanging out together because it makes things that seem not so fun seem more fun when you're not feeling like you're the only person on the planet who's struggling and dealing with clutter. Okay. Now, okay. And I love this. I love that. So what we do is we're checking in. So nice to see so many people here and welcoming new people. Yep. And totally. Let's have fun. But seriously, let's get some shit done. All right. I mean, please. I wouldn't be doing my job if this was just fun and your house remained decluttered. So still cluttered, rather. So here's the thing. Okay. So Jen, I'll help you with that in a sec. If you want to, that's what I need. I have a deadline to get my house in order. What's your deadline? And give me some context. You can only share what you're comfortable sharing, but the more details you put in the comments, I can help you, and so can other people here. Okay. So Kara has been struggling with her feeling good, and on the TikTok live that many of us just kind of hopped over from, She had had this list of things that she wanted to get done, a plan. I'm going to get all this done. Sometimes a plan is just a plan, like a chair is just a chair. A plan can be changed. So she says, okay, after taking you all for a short walk with Bear, I'm thinking Savers in the Dump, which she previously had on her list for herself to do, is going to be for hubby to do tomorrow. Instead, I'm going to shuffle around the house. Dishes are next. Awesome. I love that you paid attention to how you were feeling and realized that there was something that you had on your list that you could outsource to somebody else. You could delegate, because that would also preserve your energy. That is, you're not getting as good a gas mileage. Your tank is emptying quicker than you had hoped it would. Okay. So when your gas tank, and again, I talk a lot so Jen, in case you know, I talk a lot about like metaphors and, like talking about like ourselves as if we're on a road trip or cars. Okay. Oh man, my gas tank is going down quicker than I thought. I better change my plan. I thought I was going to drive to here, but with this amount of gas, I think I'm only going to get to here. So adjusting your expectations to match your time and energy is a wonderful skill to have. And I love it because Kara, trying to make my own physical body more comfortable here. Kara is saying, I'm going to shuffle around the house. Everybody shuffling, or that Northern Soul shuffle dancing. Very fun. I like to call it putter and declutter. I'm going to putter around, going to do the dishes. Like that's what I'm going to do. I will do the dishes and I will do some laundry. I'm writing it down. Okay, I have ironing written down and circled. Dishes, 2. And there was something else. Toothbrush. And I know there was something else, but as it comes to me, I'll write it down. Yeah. And notice, Kara made the list before she stood up and started walking around. So her idealized version of herself would get up and walk around, but her real body is like, not so fast. Okay. And I love this. So yay for adjusting your plan based on, again, how you are feeling and not ignoring how you're feeling, because when you ignore how you feel, it can make you feel worse, both physically and nervous system-y. All right. So yay for taking care of your physical body. It is part of decluttering. Trust me, because if you're not feeling good, you're not going to want to declutter. And another person who is not only decluttering her to-do list, but she's taking care of her physical body is Therapy Gal Sue. Sue is decluttering her to-do list this already, scheduling a dentist appointment and a mammogram by phone first. Okay. So I offer to everybody here. I recently went to the doctor. Oh, excuse me. I have a dentist appointment on my calendar. I also have a mammogram on my calendar, so I'm all set. How about you all? Everybody here, if you have boobs, okay? Maybe if you don't have boobs, I don't know how that would work, but maybe. Schedule your mammogram right now. Use this time that we're together to join Sue and schedule your mammogram. And I offer you this. If you haven't scheduled it and you're like, yeah, no, I'm really curious why you're not. And I don't judge you, but I want to help you in case there's a fear that I can help you with. Okay. So just everybody schedule your mammograms. We want you and your bubs around here for as long as possible. Okay. Now, Jen says, I was just on your TikTok live. Cool. I have 2 rooms upstairs that need to be decluttered for the holidays. Okay. I want you to feel free to have overnight guests without the stress. Awesome. So thank you. The additional detail provides both of us with kind of a roadmap. Okay. Now, again, Jen, I talk about things on a roadmap. I would highly recommend, what would be really effective right now or helpful to you? First of all, would be to grab like a piece of paper and take some notes. And I say this because I'm a note taker and I do think more clearly. I can focus better when I have a pen in my hand ready to write down some notes. The other thing too is if you don't have anything to write with or whatever, this TikTok live, the TikTok live I just did and the YouTube live that we're on right now, both of them are going to be added to the October, what do you call that thing? Playlist here on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. So you can also rewatch this to remind yourself of what I said to you, but taking your own notes means you've kind of run it through yourself and you just haven't relied on an external thing. So a couple of things you've done already that are part of what we do, but I'm going to back up just because I already mentioned this, but I want to be very overt about this. The 3 to 4 common first steps in this order that I want everybody to do when you're decluttering or pretty much any project, the project of living. Number 1, scan your body from the crown on down. Make sure your physical body is feeling okay. And if it isn't feeling okay, do something to get it to feeling okay. Now, notice I'm not saying feeling fabulous, wonderful, perfect. Don't wait for the superlative. Okay is like 3/4 of a tank of gas, half a tank of gas. Anywhere between half and full is enough to get you started. Do this throughout the day because, much like a car, you will drain your energy as you move through the world. So physical body first, nervous system second. Okay? I say this because usually it's a lot more common. We are more familiar with doing things to get ourselves to feel physically better than we are our nervous system. So the nervous system is when you're feeling kind of, and notice where my hands go, and I kind of am like deer in the headlights, like a little zing, like, I'm feeling anxious, nervous system. Have a feeling of overwhelm, nervous system. Okay? What we want to do is get you out of anxiety and overwhelm because those are not good places to be to take these next 2 steps and to actually get started with the decluttering. Okay, Jen, I love it. So number 1 is physical. Number 2 is nervous system. And you're going to notice that if anybody wants to play along at home, sometimes we do a thing where people take a sip of water. I like to pretend we're doing shots, but I'm not even of that age anymore. Is anytime I say the word down, take a sip of water and you will be hydrated in no time. Okay, so notice when I talked about physical, I said from the crown on down, from your crown down to the tips of your toes. I noticed right now when you may be seeing me kind of massaging my ribs right here that I've got like a twinge. I noticed it yesterday. So I'm going to make it feel better. Then calming down your nervous system. Well, how do we do that? I think one of the best ways is to start breathing down to the bottom of your lungs and slowing down your breathing. Slowing down your exhale. Maybe sitting down as opposed to pacing around. Notice we're slowing down everything you're doing. If your body is moving quickly, we're going to have you sit down. We're going to put your feet down on the ground. If your mind is racing, notice it's kind of like wheels like this. We want to slow down those wheels. Shh, quiet down. It's okay. Even the words that are in your head, maybe you just start to even practice thinking them slower. And this makes me think of Bugs Bunny when I say, "Come back here, rabbit." But you might as well have some fun while we're doing it, right? Nobody says this has to be boring. So slowing down, quieting down. Notice even as I'm talking about calming down your nervous system, the register, the key that my voice is in has quieted down. The volume has been turned down. It's almost like being at the car radio and adjusting certain things, the light, the brightness, adjusting things down to remind yourself that you aren't really a deer in the headlights with an oncoming car. It just feels that way for some reason. Oh my gosh, I have to get those 2 rooms ready for the holidays and I don't know how to do this. It's okay. We got you. There's nothing wrong here. There's nothing wrong with you. And calming down your nervous system will help you do that. Okay. So write all those things down. And everybody here, feel free to do that yourself. Make a list to remind yourself. I have one in one of my books that I started years ago. These are the things to do when I know I'm not feeling good. And those 2 things, the physical and the nervous system, do many things to make me feel better so I can start. Now, Jen, Let's say you wrote all those things down, and if you didn't, remember you can watch a recording of this to in case you think you missed one. What you have is good enough. Then I want you to draw a line, and I want you to start thinking of this. And this is B, if we were coaching one-on-one. Everybody can learn from this, okay? So this, even though I'm talking to one person, pretend I'm talking to you. I will ask you, what is your destination? So I am like, if we were to put ourselves in a car, you're the driver, you're going to be doing all this stuff, but I'm in the passenger seat here to help make it easier for you because I know certain skills that you may not know how to do that are going to make this easier. So much like I'm sitting in the car being like, okay, where are we going? That's your destination. So you already have some of your destination that you wrote down in the comments here. Okay. Your destination is destination decluttered, but decluttered, boom, boom, 2 rooms upstairs. Decluttered by the holidays. And here's a great thing too. So you already have that written down as a very bare bones type of thing, but you've done a couple of things, even with what you wrote in the comments. So you are really ahead of the game. You know how to do some of this. Yay. Because you have given yourself a timeline. Okay. You've given yourself between now and whatever, and we could, get a date. I want to get from here to there, your destination, in this amount of time. And I want to feel free to have overnight guests without the stress. Now, I want to make damn sure you write that part of your destination down too. Okay? Everybody, what is let's play along with Jen. What is your destination for decluttering, even just for today? Write it down. Also, make sure when you're writing your destination, include these 3 things. How do I want it to look is number 1, because it's always the one we always think about. It's just the surface. How do we want it to look? How do I want it to function? So, for example, functionality of the 2 rooms upstairs for Jen would be like, how do I want it to function? I want it to be a functional place where overnight guests can stay. And so by that, you will have certain things you want it. Want the bed cleared, whatever. There are going to be certain things to create that functionality. But the last one, and the reason I save the best for last, because it's the deepest one, and it's often the one that we tend to forget, is how do I want to feel in that destination and also when we're doing it. So Jen has already said, I want to feel free. I want to feel free. I want to feel free to have overnight guests over without the stress. So notice free and without stress is what we're aiming for. But we're also going to be getting a little taste of that every day we do some decluttering. Okay, so there's your destination. Here's where we're going. Okay, so now I don't know what your home looks like, but you do. So this is where you might draw another line and say, okay, that's my destination. I already have a few ideas of my own of how to get there. So what I would do is then have you write down all of the ways that you think are going to help you get there. All of the thoughts in your head about those 2 rooms. And this is where I offer that idea of writing down. Do a shot if down is your word, but also chunking down. So even, let's say, just to give you an idea of what chunking down means, is you've got 2 rooms. So start with writing down what you can do in room 1, not both, because each one of them might be slightly different. Here's what I can do in room 1 to get it looking and functioning and feeling more like I want it to. And the other thing too is, let me back up to, the more detail you can add, the more specifics you can add to your destination, the easier it will be to get there. Yes, earlier today we were on a TikTok live and people were talking about things not meeting expectations. You have expectations of what you want it to look like. The sooner you write it down, the sooner you are going to hold yourself accountable to having it be that way. Chunk it down to 1 room and then write down absolutely everything. Do not overwhelm yourself. Do not allow yourself, for me saying everything, to get you overwhelmed. Quiet that down. I trust you. Trust me. I'm not going to get you overwhelmed. Write down everything you know how to do in that room to get it there. And then let's see if we can chunk it down further. Now you have a list of actions you can take and hopefully small actions. And then those small actions are what you then use as a master list, the giant kind of shopping list. And then, depending upon the time you have of any given day and the energy you have on any given day, you go to that list and you decide, what can I do today from that list? You don't ignore, and then push it off until December. You start now. You start slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Greta Garbo gave good face. You slow, you do a little bit at a time, and you feel good going into it because you're looking at your destination. Oh my God, I'm so psyched for that room to look better. Yay, I'm doing something about it. Yay, as I'm doing it, I am doing something to change this. Yay, I did something to change it. I feel good about what I got done. And then you lather, rinse, repeat as many days that you have the energy. And you make time and you take time to do this. Okay. Now, notice I was putting myself specifically in the situation that Jin had mentioned in the comments, but that is the process for every single one of us. Every single one of us could benefit from that refresher course right there of the process of decluttering. Now, I used to be, crazily enough, they must have known something because I was an art history major and a creative, but man, do I like creating order out of chaos. And that is a creative endeavor. So I say to you, like any initial process, I will never forget this because I remember, and I think I'm still Facebook friends with the guy who created this new process in a project we were working on to have inputs here, and this was the output. And he's like, "Yep, this is how it works." I said, "Well, what if something happens here?" He hadn't built in like a loop for if somebody says no, that's wrong. So I offer to you, I know that green route that I just said, everything is green light, green light, green light, green light, green light. That's just the start. That's if everything goes well. But I know everything will not go well. So I say to you, this is where I show up to help you where all of a sudden there's a roadblock. There's not a green light, there's a red light. When you know where the red lights will occur and you can problem solve for them, it's kind of like looking at the map. You've put in your destination in your Google Maps, and then you notice, oh, there's traffic there. Okay. So then how can I take a better route to get to where I want to go? And I'm here to help you with that part. I'm here to help you with all parts, but there's a lot of this stuff you already know how to do. So I'm empowering you to do the things you know how to do, but also remember, okay? So, Jin, okay, thanks. What were the 3 ways to divide the stuff? Well, for stuff usually, and I'm always talking in threes because 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. There are 3 layers of clutter. Okay, so Jin, let's say you're going up the stairs and you're going into room 1. Having never seen it, I pretty much would always tell you and anybody else to start with layer number 1. Layer number 1 is surface clutter. What is surface clutter? Surface clutter is made up of a couple of different ingredients, okay? It's typically the stuff that's kind of bopping around on the surface. Could be trash that just goes thrown away or recycled. Surface clutter could be stuff that has a home, but it's not currently in its home. You know, like I have my pen laying here on the thing, but my pens have a home in this mug. So I take my pen and I put it in the mug because it has a home. Now, sometimes the home for your items, and this is to speak to the people who can easily allow themselves to become distracted by things. Notice how I phrase that. Become distracted and allowing yourself permission to become distracted. Sometimes some of the things you will find in those rooms, that room, do not belong in that room. They belong in other rooms. I highly recommend, because I used to read the Sunday Funnies and Family Circus, getting Billy coming back from the plate, the place where he was supposed to pick up the milk, and he's got the little dotted line that's going all over the place. Practice focusing. Now, I know this is something that all my ADHDers don't want to hear, but what I will tell you, it's like going to the gym. The more you practice, the more you show up and practice, even for 10 minutes, the more you do that, practice focusing, it is a muscle that you're building strength in. Okay. So, what do I mean by this specifically, coaching, decluttering wise? Is if you have items that belong in not the room you're decluttering, but in other rooms, and you often have found yourself, oh, I'll just put it in this room, but then you get into that room and you see something else. Oh, well, while I'm here, I'll just do this. And I do a variation of this. I'm not going to lie. I'm not perfect about this. I find myself kind of having my little Billy Billy trail from when I thought I was gonna do this, and it's like, "Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. I was in the bathroom. Let me get back there and put on my clothes." I offer to you to just say, note when things are not from that room and practice this. Practice staying in that room for a certain amount of time. So maybe you set a timer. And within that timer, you practice not leaving that room. But if you notice things belong, surface level things belong in another room, you can place them outside the door. And ideally, this is another word that we chunk things down into categories. Chunk category. Do, 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 do. Now we're on electric company, right? Chunk category. Category. Okay. Um, And then you maybe put on one side of the things, these are the things that belong in the kitchen. Over here's, these are the things that belong in the basement. How does that sound so far? Starting with the surface clutter, setting a timer. If you know that you get easily, just allow yourself to get distracted, saying there's a force field coming down and I'm unavailable to leave. My entire body can only leave this room. The only thing that can get from the force field down where this door is my arm can go out to place an item outside there. When the timer goes off, the force field evaporates and then I can move. And then after I've focused in that room for 10 or 20 minutes, then I allow myself, and maybe I reset my timer for 5 minutes, an opportunity to go wherever the heck I want. So you're not always rigidly in that room. You give yourself a chance to go around. It's the Pomodoro method, basically, which was somebody who had a tomato shaped timer. So these are tools now that you have in your toolkit. Notice it's a magic toolkit because it divides, and I still have my tools, and I have now shared those with you, and now we both have them. Okay, there we go. Kelly Smith is offering her riff on this. Is I use boxes, one for donations, one's for keeper things, and one for items that go in another room. So there's a way you could do it too. You know, what I offer to everybody here is what works for me may not work for you off the bat, but this is why we customize it. Finding what works for you is part of the coaching journey. You know, it works for Kelly to use the boxes, so Kelly uses boxes. Sorry, I got an air song going through my head right then. Kelly has customized and found a set of tools that works for her that makes it easy for her to do the decluttering. So experiment with what I say, experiment with what Kelly says, and then notice what works and keep it. Notice what doesn't work and don't include it in part of your system. That allowing yourself to get in touch with yourself and how you are unique is really going to be a game changer. Yes. And I love that you are now in the mindset because I know you can do this, Jen. And you know what the great thing is you says, I can do that. I definitely allow myself to get distracted. So that is a skill. That is something you can practice, not allowing yourself to become distracted. Can you imagine? Talk about distracted driving. Distracted driving makes you more likely to be in an accident. When you are not paying attention to where you're headed and your head is on a swivel, oh my gosh, there's an accident. Oh, there's a deer. That guy's an asshole back there. You can be swerving around and you may not notice that You may hit somebody in front of you. And this is the great thing about practicing focusing. Okay. Now I know that focusing is rarely the thing that my ADHDers want to hear, but a couple of things about the focusing. I like to think of it as, where's my thing? Going to the gym. Okay. You're building a focus muscle. Okay. Practicing for a short amount of time and then taking a break. So it's just like 10 minutes of focusing is like this little 2-pound weight. Okay. The more I use this, even if it's 2 pounds, it's going to start to get my arm achy. So start small chunk of time, small weight. After a while, you will have built the muscle to easily do that amount. So let's expand it a little bit. Let's have you practice focusing for a little bit more. Now, this is what, a 4-pound, 5-pound weight. So instead of 10 minutes, maybe you do 20 minutes. Okay. And you notice how that feels. But between these reps, between these chunks of doing the thing, please, this is where we have fun. We are not in a factory setting. You can take a break anytime you want and tell yourself that. But what I offer to you is oftentimes, if we don't have parameters, we will bail out as soon as it starts to feel uncomfortable, and we may miss the benefit of sticking through it even a little bit longer. So I'm not saying suffer and get into pain, but what I'm saying is if you set a timer, and this works for me, so maybe it works for you, you will stick with it longer than if you give up at any time. And those end reps may be the most important ones. Okay? So practicing focusing builds your focus muscle, but also allowing your brain to, instead of like after it focuses, allow yourself the opposite, which is to just kind of putter and declutter and get away from it all. I do this after my TikTok lives and coaching and stuff because I've been talking and focusing on nothing but talking about decluttering. And then I have to be like, okay, yeah, I focused a lot on that. My focusy, talky, decluttering muscle is getting kind of tired. I need to give that a rest. And I give that a rest by using another part of my brain, which is the not focus muscle, which is the distracto, which is the one that can notice the little things and putter and declutter. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. And I hope that helps everybody, not just Jen. If it doesn't, if there's a part of that where your backseat drivers are like, that may work for you, but it's not going to work for me, I want to hear from them. Here's my Mr. Microphone. Anybody who's got a backseat driver, anybody's backseat driver, want to come up to grab the microphone and tell me, yeah, Beth, so that might work for you, but it's not going to work for Betsy over here because we are exhausted. No, there's no way. I can't even. So exhaustion is, again, think of it, exhausted. Your tank is empty. So then you don't necessarily declutter first. Again, you go back to the first step. Take care of your physical body. Give that physical body some rest. Get your tank filled up. But also when you're doing that, people, notice how you were driving and what you were doing and what you were ignoring that allowed you to pull into your driveway with an empty tank. Why didn't you stop and refill when you were a half an hour away? And why are you showing up consistently exhausted? Now, this is why, you guys, I'm a decluttering life coach, because how you feel is an indication of how you're living your life. So if you don't like to feel exhausted, let's go a layer deeper and be like, okay, let's change the thing that causes you to always be pulling in to your driveway with an empty tank. Yay. Jen, I'm glad that helps. And again, today is as I mentioned, this is the last live for the next couple of days because I'm going traveling, but I will be back on Tuesday. However, you can re-listen to this one episode, okay? This episode, the 10-3, the Friday, the 3rd. I don't know if I put the day of the week in it, but it's the 3rd, the 10-3 episode. It will be in the October, what do you call it? Spotify playlist, the playlist, not Spotify, but the playlist here on YouTube. Everybody here, you can know that between 10 and 10:35, or the first 35 minutes or so of this episode, is when I really did kind of go step by step, breaking down the process. So if you forget what it is, everybody here could watch that and write it down and remember it and practice it when I'm away. Okay. Now, I love this Kara, because Kara is also inspiring me to get out of here and get my dishes done sooner rather than later. So Kara washed her dishes, even the pots that have been soaking. Cleaned the counters in the sink. This is all classic cluttering and decluttering, surface cluttering, but surface decluttering can feel good. Was emptying the dryer when the surgeon's office called for a consult. No lifting, she said. I will leave that task for hubby. Yes, so notice a couple of things. Taking care of your physical body, doing what you can with the time and energy you have. And trust me, if you declutter the way I was going to say correctly or the right way, but that sounds kind of judgy. If you declutter in the way that I suggest, you will find that you don't feel so bad doing it. So before you start doing it, it won't feel so bad. While you are doing it, it doesn't feel bad. And best of all, after you've done it, it doesn't feel so bad, and it feels good to have done it. Having had done that. What an awkward sentence my brain offered me. Okay? So notice the feeling good before, the feeling good during, and the feeling good after. This is why we do it the way we do it. Any other way is going to cause you to dread doing it, be miserable while you're doing it, and remember how much you were miserable and dreading, so you will be less likely to show up again. And the showing up again is the key to all of this. It is not a one and done. This is a road trip that we break down into chunks. And when you start feeling not good is when you pull over and a magical, cool little place appears for you to rest and get a drink. And sometimes it's the permanent rest of staying over the night, and other times it's just a rest stop. But you gotta stop and rest and do it over multiple days, or you're going to hurt yourself. And I am not here to teach you a method that hurts yourself, your physical body, your mental body, all of you. I want this to be an enjoyable process so we have fun. This is one of the reasons why some of the chunks that you want to work on. So just as an example, like Jin, if you are doing this and you want to be done by, let's say, December 15th, okay? So a couple of things. You could mix this up by doing some decluttering while a decluttering party is going on. A decluttering party is just for people who are part of the email group, but you can become part of the email group. You can join the email group, destinationdecluttered.com, come to a declutter party and work like that. That could be a way to mix it up and have some fun. All right. Now, here's a fun thing. In Jin, because you said you hopped over, you hopped over from TikTok, you know that 10-3, October 3rd, the TikTok live and the YouTube live are going to be the episodes that you want to re-listen to. I am happy to repeat some of this, but just know that in the TikTok live we just did, I went really in depth on how to declutter along with other people. And notice I say along with other people, because Jen is saying in the comments, for anybody who isn't watching, what do you all do with the problem of living with slobs? What I always say to everybody, regardless of that, is practice your own decluttering first. And at the same time, while you're doing that, get them aware that we are not living in a slobby household anymore. Have a conversation with them. If you are changing your habits to be less slobby, don't be the only one. Notify your let's take it out of the house and put it into the office. We are not running our business like this anymore. This is inefficient and it's not working well, and it's causing all sorts of things to not be a good environment. So all of us are going to participate in the changing of the office. But you may not know how to change them, because you don't know how to change yourself yet. Okay? And this is encouraging. This encourages me to know that I'm on the right path as a coach, because Laura Voorhees says, Jen, yes, Hubs has seen me grow as a declutterer, and it has helped him move forward with me. Yeah. Oh, yay. Lori Hannah, love to hear from you, friend. And I'm jealous of your warm weather in Arizona, as I'm clutching my teacup to warm my freezing cold hands, and I've got a blanket on me. Lori Hannah and I coached one-on-one, because I do one-on-one coaching. And she says, I did one-on-one coaching with Beth. I thought I was an all or nothing person, but I learned that chunking it down is the way to go. So much more successful. Yeah. Thank you, Beth. You're the best. Lori Hannah, right back at you. High five. Maybe I'll see you at a seminar at some time. Wouldn't that be fun? Someplace warm, though. Seriously, someplace warm. I'm going to write that down. Seminar. Sibilance. Seminar. Yes. And Kara says model behavior. You only control you and what you do. I will amplify that, and I'm going to add something to it. Do not model behavior in silence, hoping that people will notice. Be overt with it. This is how we do it. Start to play that song in your house. This is how we do it. As you're doing it, be like, this is how we are living in this house right now. I am putting away my stuff that I left on the kitchen table. Now is your time to put away your stuff that you left on the kitchen table. Be overt. This is a training lesson. Listen to me as I show you how to do this, so that you are aware that I'm changing what I'm doing, and the expectation is you will change the way you're doing too. Now, it doesn't always have to be like that, but if you just quietly do it and you hope that somebody notices, you can increase the likelihood that they'll notice if you're just loud. Hey, listen up. I know this sounds goofy, but this is where we're going to put the forks, and the clean dish towels go in this drawer. So now you know. So now you can't say, oh, I didn't know where it went, so I didn't put it away. Okay? But you're learning this, and they can learn it too. I refuse to believe that there isn't anybody on this planet who cannot learn how to take care of their own stuff. Now, this takes many ways, shapes, and forms. Decluttering is self-care. Learning to take care of your physical body and your nervous system is so important, both for decluttering and, seriously, what is going on in the world, in the country right now. Those first two steps are non-negotiables, really. Because if you're a deer in the headlights and you stay there stuck and you don't do it, you will be hit by a car. Getting yourself out of fear and fight or flight, getting yourself out of fear allows you to move and do something to save your life. Okay? So I say that because helping yourself, you can also teach that to other people. But have a little bit of sympathy for the other people, because if you're struggling with it, they also may be struggling too. They may seriously not even know where things go, because maybe you've cleaned up after them. They may be used to you storming around and cleaning up and being all mad about it, but they've been used to tolerating your frustration because it absolves them from having to do it. Because if they just, it can be like a battle of the wills. It'll be a battle of the wills. And I will offer this, Jen. Now, I tend to be kind of brash and very, when I'm comfortable, kind of sassy like that. But what I will say is, again, think of this as a business relationship. Think of this as you having some strategy about this, okay? Notice the difference between when somebody tells you to do something because I said so. Part of you may be like, "Oh yeah? You can't tell me what to do." I think everybody has an internal toddler. But if you share with them instead of top down, hierarchy, patriarchy, heck, matriarchy, top down, you do it because I said to, a lot of us are going to be flipping the bird and being like, "Oh yeah, just watch me not do the thing you want me to do." However, there's a different way to go about it, and it's strategy. It's getting buy-in. It's showing the other person what's in it for them to get them to be like, "Oh, I get it. I have an association of what I'm doing is going to get the home looking and feeling better for me." So, this is why I offer to you, notice where it could help them for the house to be looking, feeling, and functioning better. Are they a kid that isn't inviting their friends over because the house is a mess? Maybe they could more easily invite friends over to play. Are they somebody who always says, "I have no clothes to wear because all my clothes are dirty"? It would mean that they would all more frequently have clean clothes to wear. Even just feeling better about walking into your room and having it look as cool as you want to, and being able to easily find your things, easily find your toy, easily play with your toy because there's surface to play with it, and there's an easy kind of garage for your little toy truck to go away in when you're done. So you know the next time you want to play with your toy truck that it's in the garage. Coming at it from a collaborative, what's in it for me and you, will be more helpful in getting somebody to want to change their habits versus just do it because I said so and I'm so frustrated. So, this is where, again, we back up to the nervous system. Calming yourself down, keeping your eye on your destination of what do I want to happen here? What is the outcome I want from this conversation about decluttering with this person? Writing down your destination. I want them to more willingly participate in it, not just in the short term, but consistently. I want us to feel good about doing it together, and I don't want it to become an adversarial battle of the wills. If you're clear on what you want from the interaction, you can go in there keeping your eyes on the prize, noticing when the emotions might flare up, but noticing you can also do something to calm it down. Saying what's in it for me may be something for you. I don't know about you, but I like it when I can easily find my stuff, put on my clothes that fit, and easily go out the door and do other things. I don't want us to spend our entire lives living in a cluttered house. I want us to live in a non-cluttered house and then be able to do fun things. Okay? So put some strategy into it. You're smart. Keep your eyes on the prize and don't let the emotions flare up so you're like, "Fine, well, yeah, I'll just do it." Again, slow and steady wins the race. And it isn't even a race, you guys. That's just the phrase. Okay, Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Phew! Just did a musical chairs. Oh, I kind of like that. Declutter between 3 storage areas in the kitchen because I didn't like how cramped, notice how cramped my pots and pans and lids and cooking Tupperware were. Decluttering made more space. Trying to get a pot or pan out used to be so noisy and ineffective. I freaking hate noisy pans. As you guys know about me, I'm very triggered by noises. Now I will be able to get out what I want without making angry chef noises unintentionally. Yes, there's an intentional angry chef noise and there's an unintentional one. I love the fact that I bought these little felt pads that fit between the nesting frying pans that my husband tends to use. I use them occasionally. Not having things clang, 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 went the trolley, having things not clanging is important to me. Notice that is quieting down your environment from an audio perspective, not just a visual perspective. And quieting down your environment helps give your nervous system a place to go, whew, okay, and reset. I love that you tuned into the fact that the sounds were bothering you. I love that because then you can do something to change it. You may not know why you're so frustrated. And then you're like, God, it's that thing that keeps rolling around in the back of the car. Rawr, every time I take a thing. You can continue to be annoyed by it, or you can stop your car, get out, open up the trunk, and stop that flashlight from rolling back and forth. You pick it up, you put it somewhere, you do something to stop the thing you don't like. That really is such the crux of decluttering. Noticing what bugs you, stopping it as soon as you can safely realize what it is, and then doing something to change it so it doesn't bug you anymore. Now, I love this. Kara, I'm right there with you. Okay. Kara got the down comforter out last night. It was freezing. Yes. It was cold here too. And I made myself warm enough. I will share. I was sleeping. I already put one blanket on the bed, and part of me was like, I know I should get up and get that blanket, but it's just too. So, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that blanket on the bed right now so that tonight when I go to bed, I have it. Notice your physical body feeling cold can be a distraction. I know this for a stone cold fact because when I moved down to the Delaware Beach in 2000 and I lived in a house where I had to pay for propane heat and it was so expensive for the amount of money I was making that I kept it cold, but all I could focus on when I get cold, I know this about myself. So notice this is a different sense. When my physical temperature gets cold, it distracts me and it makes it harder to focus on other things. So notice that your distractions could be one of the five senses. Typically, clutter is a visual distraction, but you can do something to change that. Audio distractions, closing the window, turning down the volume, telling people to quiet down, including the people in your head that are chattering. Shh, turn them down. Noticing how the temperature makes you feel and doing something, putting a lap blanket on, making sure you have a hot cup of tea, turning on the heat before Thanksgiving. Hello, thrifty New Englanders. I got to break myself of that habit. Saying to myself, I can afford to turn on the heat. I deserve to feel okay. I deserve to feel warm. I don't need to be hot. It doesn't need to be exotic, but I deserve to feel okay in my physical body and in my nervous system and in my home. So notice where these things crop up. Now, typically when we're talking about clutter, clutter is usually a visual distraction, a visual thing. So we deal with that one, but as we're doing it, you may become more attuned to other things that bug you. That could be sounds, that could be temperatures, that could be textures. You know, I'm walking through that room and it's all gritty under my feet, so maybe I'll vacuum. It could be a flavor. Ooh, I don't like that taste in my mouth. I can't focus on this. Let me just go brush my teeth. But the thing is, solving the distraction and then going back to what you were focusing on. Not brushing your teeth and saying, well, while I'm here, I might as well wipe this off. Oh, you know what? I noticed this. The next thing you know, the thing that you were focusing on. So practicing your focus muscle, but also tuning in to what makes you feel better. So I love that. I also am seriously, thank you. I'm going to write this down. Notice what I'm doing. Kara just gave me a good idea. I'm going to write it down. Put Beatles blanket on bed there. Add, anytime you write a list, make sure there's a verb to it. Buy new toothbrush head. Seminar, investigate. Seminar in warm weather. Bring salt and pepper shakers to my friend's house. Add pen pal info to secret page. Notice this. If you're writing down a list of things to do, adding the verb and add any more specifics can make it more real. You don't need to declutter your list. If you overwrite the details on your list, that can actually encourage you. Not just bathroom, destination bathroom. The more specific you can get with yourself, the smaller the chunks are to do them. You know what done will be looking like. And it will be easier for you to show up for a little chunk as opposed to bathroom. Oh, I don't even know. It's too big. I won't even start with it today. Even my stuff over here, my ironing. I'm going to start with one item of clothing. And the funny thing is, once I get started with ironing, I actually like it. I like seeing the before and afters. I like the opportunity to listen to something while I'm doing it. It kind of gets me in this nice little Zen moment. I haven't done it yet, but I know I will, and that's okay. So notice this stuff that I point out about me. Where can you point this stuff out about yourself? How well do you know yourself? My husband and I, okay, there we go. Kelly Smith opened all your windows last night. Now, here's the funny thing, Kelly Smith, I don't know where you live. I had to close all my windows last night because it was cold. And now is the time of the day, the season. It's the time of the season. It's the time of the season where now, when I got outside, it's probably warmer outside now than it is in my house. It's just that time. Now, notice you thought it got cool to 52 because you were tired of the heat and humidity. I know for us that it's just going to get cooler and cooler. Sometimes 52 can feel refreshing compared to the heat and humidity, but we're all wired differently. So notice how you are wired. Notice that you may put physical objects. Remember, I wrote down buy new toothbrush head. This, I had to invent that sentence in my head. My eye had to be, why is that there? Oh, yeah, because I need to buy the toothbrush head. Writing it down on a list just gets me, all I have to do is read it and do it. Read it and do it. Read it and do it. I think that's so much easier. I do. And I will, after I turn off here, I will walk around. I will make a list of the things that I have put the visual reminders of, because then I can declutter the visual reminder and get it done because I will work off of the list. See how this all works? This is how I run my life. And I think it's turning out better than it has in the first 4 to 5 because 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. For the first 50 years of my life, I didn't do this. I did some of it, but not all. I was inconsistent. I gave up on stuff. Now, I'm not perfect and I don't want to be. I'm better at things that give me the result I want. And man, when something gives me the result I want, I will do that thing more because I know what I want. I have a whole list of things I'm grateful for. I hope you do too. Okay. Now, Ellen, thank you. Yes, I will have a nice trip. I'm so psyched about it. It's so silly and fun. I'll tell you about it after I get home. And I look forward to seeing any of y'all, as Carla would say, on Tuesday. So what do we have now? I'm looking at the secret page. Friday, October 3rd, I'm going to take that off momentarily. Tuesday, October 7th, 11 a.m. TikTok, 12 p.m. YouTube. Next week, there's only two days of lives. So you might want to put these on your calendar. If you're not part of the email club to even know what the schedule is, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Join it. Declutter party on Saturday 18th and 2 more after that. Oh, hey. Oh, I love this. Laura Voorhees got a nice email from Dear Carla. So if you're part of the email club and you want to be part of the email group and you want to be part of the PPC, the Pink Pony Club, the Pen Pal Club, Just shoot me an email. Say, I'd like to be on the email, the thing. Let me know what state you live in. And also if you have a moniker here, like Shannon in retrograde. I know her originally, so people can connect with who you are in case you have a different name. All of that is just available to you. You can do what you want. Do what you want. Do what you like. There was another song. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. But if my friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. All right. I'll see you guys next week. All righty. Yes. Thank you, Melissa Garvey. Have a wonderful trip. May it provide many moments of pure delight. And even if it's adulterated delight, I like delight in many flavors. So thank you for thinking of me. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.